If you're over 50, the voice says, you already know this truth. Sleep doesn't come as easily as it used to. And right there, every senior watching stops scrolling because they feel seen. They remember the days when they could sleep effortlessly, drop into dreams without a battle, wake up energized and refreshed with the sun. But today, sleep feels like something they chase, something that slips through their fingers. They lie awake at night staring at the ceiling, or they fall asleep only to wake up every hour, or they open their eyes at 3 a.m., as if an invisible alarm clock is placed inside their body, and they ask themselves the same question again and again. Why am I losing sleep? What changed? And is there anything I can do to make it better? The story begins with a man named Farid, a retired schoolteacher, someone who spent his entire life waking up before dawn, someone who never struggled with sleep until he reached 60. One night around 2:45 a.m., he found himself wide awake, staring at the dim outline of his wardrobe. He turned to the other side of the bed and whispered to himself, "Again? Why? Because for the fifth night in a row, he woke up too early." He lay there listening to the silence of the house, feeling the weight of exhaustion in his chest, yet sleep refused to return. And as he sat up, stretching his stiff back, he realized this had become his new normal. And what scared him most wasn't just the lack of sleep, it was the fear that something was wrong with him, that aging was stealing something essential from him. Millions of seniors have similar experiences, even if they never talk about it. They sit in their living rooms late at night drinking warm tea, telling themselves stories about just getting old. They turn to the window and see the streetlight glowing while the world sleeps, and they whisper, "Why can't I sleep like I used to?" This question, this pain, this frustration is universal. But here's the surprising part. Most seniors don't lose sleep because of one issue. They lose sleep because of layers of reasons: physical changes, hormonal shifts, lifestyle differences, emotional weight, stress, hidden aches, medication side effects, and sometimes memories, regrets, and loneliness that intensifies at night. As we dive deeper into the story, we see Farid trying everything. He tried warm milk, he tried reading, he tried counting backwards from 500, he tried soft music, he tried switching pillows, and he tried that common trick he saw online: sleep before 10 p.m. Nothing worked, and his frustration grew. But one evening, something interesting happened. His granddaughter asked him, "Dada, why don't you switch off the bright lights in the house at night?" It sounded simple, too simple, but that question sparked a surprising discovery he was not prepared for. Before we reveal the trick, we need to understand what was silently happening inside his body and inside the bodies of millions of seniors across the world. As people age, the sleep hormone melatonin naturally drops. The internal clock becomes weaker, the brain becomes more sensitive to even tiny amounts of noise or light. Muscles stiffen, joints ache, the bladder becomes more active, blood pressure changes, digestion slows. All of these create micro-awakenings that the person never had earlier in life. And the fascinating truth is that seniors often think they are just bad sleepers, but the reality is that their bodies are responding to changes they were never taught to expect. Picture the brain like a city. When you're young, the city is filled with strong streetlights, bright signs, and clear pathways. Your circadian rhythm is powerful. But with age, some of those lights fade. The pathways dim. Messages take longer to travel. The body's natural rhythms weaken. That's why seniors fall asleep earlier, wake up earlier, and sometimes can't go back to sleep after a single disturbance. And this change isn't a mistake. It's biology. It's part of aging, but that doesn't mean it can't be improved. Yet in today's world, there's one enemy that has made sleep worse for seniors, far worse than it was 20 or 30 years ago: blue light, screens, phones, TVs, LED bulbs. Blue light tricks the aging brain into thinking it's daytime, even at night. Melatonin drops further, sleep becomes lighter, awakenings become frequent, and for seniors who already have reduced melatonin, this turns into a vicious cycle. Farid didn't know this. Most seniors don't. They think their sleep problems are caused by age alone, but they don't realize their environment is making it worse every day. And this brings us to the simple trick he was about to discover. One evening, Farid sat in the living room scrolling through old photos on his tablet. It was around 8 p.m., and suddenly, his granddaughter walked in and laughed. "Dada, why are all the lights in the house so bright? It feels like a hospital." Farid smiled, pretending it didn't matter, but her words stuck in his mind. That night, as he walked to his bedroom, the house glowed like a supermarket aisle. White, intense, sharp, and for the first time he questioned it. He remembered how his mother used to switch to yellow lamps after sunset, how she insisted the home should feel warm at night. He never understood why, but scientists now know exactly why. The brain is deeply sensitive to light temperature. Warm light prepares you for sleep. Cool light destroys melatonin. Seniors with modern LED bulbs may unknowingly be blocking their own sleep every single night. So Farid decided to try an experiment.
The next evening, instead of turning on the ceiling lights, he used a small warm lamp in the corner of the room. The atmosphere changed instantly. The house felt calmer, softer, quieter. He didn't know it yet, but his brain had started producing melatonin earlier that evening. Later, he avoided screens for 90 minutes before bed. He sat near the lamp reading a book. He didn't do anything extreme. No pills, no complicated routine, just warm light and no screens. That night, for the first time in months, he slept 5 hours straight. This became the turning point. The trick wasn't magic. It wasn't a medicine. It wasn't expensive. It was something most seniors don't even think about: controlling evening light for melatonin recovery. Seniors lose sleep partly because their melatonin falls, but blue light crushes it even further. Remove the blue light and the brain gets a chance to reset. But the story doesn't end here. As days passed, Farid found that a lot more was affecting his sleep: evening worry, loneliness in silent rooms, stiffness in his back, late-night heavy dinners, and even the temperature of his bedroom. Many seniors don't realize their body temperature regulation weakens with age, meaning they need a slightly cooler room to sleep well. Too warm, and they keep tossing and turning. Too cold, and the muscles tighten. An optimal sleep environment becomes more important with age than ever before. He also remembered something his doctor once said: walk for 20 minutes every day. Not for fitness, but for sleep. Physical activity helps seniors sleep deeper because it increases the need for nighttime recovery. Sedentary days lead to restless nights. Farid took these lessons step by step. Warm lights, no screens before bed, light walk in the evening, light dinner, cool room, soft stretching before sleep. Within 10 days, his nights went from broken to peaceful. He could finally close his eyes and drift into sleep without wrestling with anxiety. He didn't wake up scared or exhausted. He didn't lie awake staring at the fan spinning above him, and he felt like he had regained something precious that aging had taken away. But the real transformation came when he learned the emotional reason seniors lose sleep: overthinking at night. The silent hours become loud inside the mind. Past memories, regrets, what-ifs, loneliness, fear of health, fear of the future. These thoughts hit harder in the dark, and seniors almost never talk about this. They pretend they're fine. They smile in front of their children. They stay quiet in front of relatives. But deep down they feel the weight of everything unspoken. No wonder their sleep shatters. No wonder they wake up at 3 a.m. with their heart beating fast. Farid learned something surprising from a sleep expert online. Writing for 5 minutes before bed reduces nighttime overthinking by nearly 40%. Not journaling, not storytelling, just writing down tomorrow's tasks, worries, or anything weighing on the heart. This simple habit frees the mind. Farid tried it, and it worked. What he didn't realize was that he had stumbled upon a complete transformation that thousands of seniors have experienced: the shift from fighting sleep to inviting sleep. Weeks passed. Farid began waking up gently, with soft sunlight entering his room instead of the harsh glare of 4 a.m. insomnia. His family noticed he seemed happier, more energetic, more alive. He wasn't snapping at anyone. He wasn't dragging himself through the day. His memory improved. His mood lifted. Even his doctor said his blood pressure looked better. Sleep doesn't just rest the body, it heals the heart, and seniors need that healing more than ever. One day, Farid sat in his garden sipping tea. A neighbor approached him and said, "You look different these days. What's your secret?" Farid smiled, remembering the months he spent struggling, the nights he lay awake begging his mind to rest, the exhaustion that had once made him feel older than he truly was. And he replied, "I learned how to treat sleep like a friend, not a fight." He explained the simple trick: warm lights and screen-free evenings. Then the supporting habits: light walking, cool bedroom, early dinner, 5-minute writing, and gentle stretching. The neighbor listened carefully, nodding, feeling hopeful. But the story takes an emotional turn, because at that moment Farid realized he wasn't just fixing his sleep, he was fixing a part of his life he didn't know he had lost. Sleep gave him clarity. Sleep gave him strength. Sleep gave him back the version of himself that he had been missing. And he realized something deeper. Aging doesn't steal sleep. Lifestyle changes do. And sleep can be taken back. The trick that changed everything wasn't expensive, complicated, or impossible. It was simply returning the brain to the rhythm nature intended. As Farid shared his journey, people around him, friends, relatives, neighbors, began trying the same steps. And slowly they too experienced the same transformation: deep sleep, peaceful nights, calm minds. And with every passing day, those seniors felt younger. They felt lighter. They felt human again. And now, as the video reaches its last moments, the narrator turns to the audience, every senior watching, every family member who loves them, every adult who wants to preserve their sleep for the future, and says, you don't have to live with sleepless nights. You don't have to accept exhaustion as part of aging. You don't have to lie awake wondering what's wrong. Your sleep can return. Your energy can return. Your peace can return. And sometimes all it takes is one simple change, one soft, warm light, to start the entire healing process. The music rises softly, the screen slowly fades into a calming warm glow, and the narrator ends with a message spoken gently, with warmth and sincerity. If this story helped you or someone you love, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more life-changing stories and tips for seniors around the world. Thank you for watching, and may tonight be the beginning of your deepest, most peaceful sleep. Stay healthy, stay peaceful, and remember, your best days can still begin with a good night's sleep.